That ain't looking good. Crank. Nope, it'll tighten the bolt though. Oh, yes! It's stopping right there. Dead stop right there. I think I heard a valve. Good morning, everybody, and welcome back to the oil field. Same place we pulled the C30 out of that we got at home, and we also did a revival on that C60 right there. So we got that one running and driving and moved over there. So what do we work on today? Well, I'm going to start with the C65 just because it's more familiar to me, and I want to save the International and that Detroit diesel for last for these revivals out here. So what are we going to work on today? Today is going to be the C65, and this is a 1977. That's what I've decoded from the VIN over here. So the fifth digit is the sixth digit is 7, which is 77, and the gauges and everything kind of go with that. But you can see this has been a nest for something. So something kind of big, because it looks like it's laying right there. Be kind of curious if that ever comes back out. But anyways, what are we dealing with under the hood? We have a big block Chevy underneath here with a Holley carburetor. So, and it's got HEI distributor, so again, should be pretty easy. If this thing cranks or turns, we should be good to go. I think one of the things I need to do though is get this hood out, because it is jammed up. It won't lift anymore in this. We've already got enough stuff in the way around here with this this weld equipment. So, yep, we're gonna have some fun with this one, just because of not a whole lot of room to work, but we'll make it work, and let's see if we can get this thing running as well. Just want to disclose a little bit. I'm working with a new microphone. I'm trying different positions right now. I have it on my hat to see if it's going to work out here. I know it cuts down on the wind quite a bit, and I know the last video I had quite a bit of wind in it, so let's hope it works out good. All right, so first things first, we're going to try to get this hood open more, and if I can't get it to open, then I'll pull the bolts and pull it all the way off. All right, so I had to pull the hood off. I had to pull the whole hood off. I can't speak this morning. It's kind of a pain in the butt, because there was no way I was going to get it open to stay open, because this hinge is actually broken. So we got it off. Now we got plenty of working area, plenty of room up here to work. So looks like the crank pulley down there is bent. I don't know if you can see that or not, but it's pretty crazy. See how that pulley's bent? Luckily there's no belt on it, and it doesn't look like it really does anything. So I have to figure out what engine this is actually, but you can tell it's a big block just by the way that it is, with the head, the valve covers. And I got a nice little Holley in there. Looks like probably a 600, 650, something like that. Vacuum secondaries, kind of looks like the one I have on the 1970 GMC. So first things first, see if we can get this thing to crank or turn, and then we'll go from there. All right, see if I can get up in here and even get on the fan belt. This big crane thing kind of makes it a little pain in the butt to get to. Well, that ain't looking good. All right, doesn't want to move. Does it have a crank bolt on it? It should be in 1970. Yes, it does. 5/8? No, it's bigger than 5/8. All right, let's see if we can get a bolt or something on there to crank it by. See if we can figure out a way of cranking it with a breaker bar. I guess first things first, let's make sure it's out of gear. All right, we got a socket up on there now, so let's see if we can get this wrench on here and get it to turn or not. This fan isn't totally in the way. I'm probably totally blocking the shot too, aren't I? There we go. Now, will it crank? Nope, it'll tighten the bolt though. Yeah, she's locked. Alright, let's pull the plugs out and get some fluid down inside there and see if that helps any. We'll scope it too just to see. Let's get these spark plugs out. Mic is still on, so it's good. Oh wow, that's nice and loose. Need an extension. So the cool thing about this mic is I can be clear over here, barely even be talking, and it should pick up. Hopefully you don't hear me panting so much with the microphone, but yeah, you gotta take what you got. Okay, yeah, those are all not super loose, but not super tight either, so. Alright, let's see what number 2 looks like. Some of this garbage out of here. Look at that raccoon turd. Alright, number 2. That doesn't look too bad. It looks about normal. Those are small plugs for a big block. Number 4. Again, looks pretty good. Number 6. Oh, there's a little bit of rust. And a spider nest. So there's a little bit of rust on that one. So that one's worrisome. And number 8. That one looks good. So number 6 looks like an issue. So we'll get a scope out and take a look at that. I gotta figure out how to record on that thing so it's easier to show. Stupid spider webs. So yeah, I wasn't recording. I forgot to hit the play button. But pulling this side spark plug wires off, every single one of them is broke loose. Not good. Not in a good way. Yeah. It's only pulling pieces of it off. Luckily I brought some spark plug wires, but I don't know if that's going to matter. I'll show you why I'm saying that here in a minute. Okay, I gotta figure out something else for that. But yeah, let me show you. What's a bit of a worries here. So I was up here and I was getting ready to pull these plug wires off, and I noticed something. That's loose. And that's what's in the carburetor. So that ain't good. Let's hope the butterflies are closed. So maybe we can pull it off and make it work. But as of right now, that is not looking good for our carburetor. All kinds of crap down there, including a worm or a mud dauber. So looks like we're definitely be pulling that off. This is one of the times when I wish, I had some kind of mobile vacuum to vacuum all the stuff out, but I don't. So gotta work with what we got. Oh boy. Try a different position for the microphone right now, but something that hopefully blocks my breathing, my heavy breathing. So the good thing is this is actually closed, and it seems to be kind of locked up, which is good in its own way. So hopefully nothing got down inside the engine from the carburetor. So I think we're going to pull the carburetor off next. See what we got down inside there, unfortunately. But yeah, I don't know how long this thing's been sitting here, but it's obviously been a while, because there's that cable right there is to run the throttle for the PTO. So I wish I had something to suck those mouse turds up with. But maybe just dig them out of there. Yeah, this side, all the plug wires came off nice. This side over here, they all broke and left the connection on the spark plug, so I can't get them out yet until I get those connectors off. And that one in the back, number 7, it is still has part of the boot on there because the boot just tore off. Just out of curiosity, let me see what the oil looks like in this thing. Oh, great. Maybe not. You spray it with some WD-40. The stupid dipstick tube is appears to be stuck. So I was kind of hoping this one would be a good one, because I kind of want to. I was hoping to be able to get this one for one of my other projects. Get this motor. I don't want the whole truck. I just want the engine, the big block. But not looking good yet. And I just got hit in the head by a cable. That was awesome. I got to unbolt that one to get it out. Really got to figure out a way of mounting these microphones better. But anyway, okay, can't check the oil yet. So much trash in these things. The 2-barrel? No, the back 2 barrels are full of crap, literally. Yeah, I think the best bet's just to get that carburetor off there. See how bad it is down inside. They're nice enough to put this cable on here with a eyelet thingy to make it kind of permanent. But I should have, hopefully, that size socket with me. Yeah, all right. I think I'm gonna work on the spark plugs on the driver's side, so 1, 3, 5, and 7, and get this thing soaking down at least. I'm afraid there's going to be some pretty bad rust. That's semi-good news. Pull the rest of the spark plugs out, and there isn't any more rusty ones. A little bit on that one. That was number 8. Or I'm sorry, number 7. So number 5, 4, or god dang, 3 and 1. So no real rust on the inside, which is good. So that makes me feel a little bit better. So basically, overall, the spark plugs turned out pretty good. The only one that was kind of crusty was number 7 or 6. Yeah, I cannot get these straight today, can I? I guess number 8's a little bit bad too. No, wait. That's 8. That's 6. So 6 is the worst one. 4 ain't too bad. 2's got a little crust, but that looks like mostly carbon buildup, so we'll be all right. Which is good, because I really want to get this one running. So I think I'll scope it next. I wish I could share it with you. Maybe I can somehow if I can figure it out. I'll run a scope down in each one and put some fluid down in them, and maybe we'll get some movement out of it. But before we do that, definitely think the carb needs to come off of it. So good news and bad news. Well, try to get the dipstick out, and as you see, the dipstick actually broke inside the tube, which I kind of expected, but I unbolted it and pulled it out. She's got good oil. It's a little low, which ain't a big deal. I got some oil we can add to it, but that's enough to try to crank it and get it running. But so yeah, but I also don't see any water, which is good. So there's no rust down below this area. So it must just be the top of it, which is fine by me, you know. So hopefully that's good. The bottom end ain't messed up. So we might have stuck valves or something. I'm gonna try cranking it again because I did soak it down a little bit, but I'll try putting this on again and see if it'll move now with the spark plugs out and the with it soaked down a little bit. All right, we're gonna try this again. I think it was better on this side. And probably the hardest part is getting the socket on here again. Is that it? Yeah, there it is. Oh, yes! Oh, I moved a little bit. Oh, look at that. She is moving. All right. We'll see if we can get it broken loose enough to go a couple full revolutions. Oh man, that's awesome. Now, gotta definitely get the carb off of there. I think to try to make this a little bit easier, I'm gonna pull the fan shroud and the fan off so I can actually get the wrench on the bolt and spin it more freely. Because right now it's I can't get in there with the fan, and the fan keeps catching my arm. And so yeah, I'm just gonna remove everything real quick. It shouldn't be too hard as long as those bolts aren't rusted up. I'll spray them down. But so we're gonna do next. All right, now we got access to that crank bolt. See if we can break it loose the rest of the way. Or we have to deal with some stuck valves or something. Hopefully not stuck pistons. I don't think the pistons are stuck though, because it wouldn't go as far as it did. We're stopping right there. Ouch. Still ain't easy. Bending over this thing. Dead stop right there. I think I heard a valve hit. Yep. Let's back it off a little bit. I don't want to break any valves, so we're not going to force it. So I think what you need to do is pull. We definitely got to pull a carb. Pull the valve covers too. So yeah, let's do an EGR2. That's just going to be a nightmare. 70s EGR and emissions, yay. At least the pump is gone. But so yeah, that's what we're going to do. I'm going to try to get as much of that crap out of there by hand, unfortunately, because I don't have any kind of vacuum or anything to blow it out of there with. So yep, that's going to be our next step. But hey, it's spinning. So the crank and the pistons seem to be fine. So it sounds like we got a stuck valve. Alright, so I got the carb bolts all loose. See if I can carefully lift this up here and hope there's nothing down in the intake. Oh, stupid spring. Oh, I think we're good. Get the spring out of the way here. Alright, look at that. But there's nothing down inside the intake. I'll show you. A little crusty, but no big chunks. Thank God. I'm going to grab a rag and stuff it down in there. All right, so good news is the primaries are open and cleaned out now, sort of. I haven't sprayed them out with anything yet. The secondaries are stuck though. So I'm going to soak those in some PB Blaster and try to get those loosened up. But we don't need secondaries to make it run. So I'm going to spray it down with some PB Blaster and go back to work on the rest of it and get some rags in that intake so nothing else can fall down inside there. So then the next thing we can do is go ahead and pull the valve cover, see if we can find our stuck valve. And hopefully that's the only thing it is. If it's a stuck valve, that's a pretty easy fix. We can soak it down, hopefully get it loose. That glove down there is really bothering me. It's been there the whole time and I don't like it. Ugh, that thing right there. All right, so we get those valve covers off. At least I'll get them loosened up and we'll pull them off together. I was a little curious to see when this was last registered. Don't know if it's when it was last run, but that says 1994. So what is that, 31 years? So whether it's been sitting here for 31 years or not, I don't know. But it's been that long since it's been registered at least. Man, that'd be a pain in the butt getting those things up, huh? Just realized that those are down. Oh boy, I think the front was actually down too. And I'm bleeding for some reason. Anyways, pretty cool, 31 years. All right, I'm gonna pull the first one. Please be good, please be good, please be good, please be good. We only got a little bit of rust there. Not too bad, just a little bit right there on that one. I don't know if you guys can see or not. That ain't so bad. A little bit of moisture in there. Let's try the other one. I dropped one of the bolts on this side. It went all the way to the ground. All right, there's some crust right there. That's number 6. That's where we had the rust. So that could possibly be the culprit. That ain't so bad. Let's check and see which ones are sticking. I'm gonna soak them all down though, just because. Maybe dump some mystery oil down the gullet here too to get that on the back side of the valves. Cool. Ain't too bad. It really isn't. Something's definitely sticking. I'll try tapping on each one of these valves and see if I can figure out which one's stuck. Just going to use a regular hammer. I don't have any soft hammers, but does the same thing. Good. I don't know. Let's try turning it over again. Maybe it's something worse. Now I can at least watch. Right there, dead stop. Dead stop. Okay, I only see one that's not moving. It's number 8. Number 8. Is it exhaust? Number 8 in intake. Let me tap on that some more. It's not stuck. Here's that one. All right, none of those are stuck. But something is. I can't really tell. It might be time to remove the rockers. Yeah, I think that's what we're gonna do. At least loosen them all up. Well, I think I may have found one. Look right there. Well, actually, maybe not. It does look like it's compressed a little bit, though. So I'm gonna tap on number 6. That's a number 6 intake, which makes sense. Let's see if that's the one that's stuck. I got a bad feeling it's not gonna be a valve or any of the ones I can see because they're all loose. And the one I thought might have been stuck definitely was not. It's still a very hard spot. Yep, dead stop. Let me get the scope out and see if I can see anything. Some of the problems with using a scope outdoors is you can't see nothing. It's too bright. I really can't tell. So basically, for it to be a valve, it'd have to be broken, because if it was broken, you'd think the spring would pop up. I don't know. There was something possible in the transmission. I think we have to lay underneath there and see. Oh, yeah, maybe it's a stuck lifter. I don't know. Alright, so I would suggest you ever try this. Right now the valves are up. So I'm going to just try using the starter because it's got the most torque. It keeps getting stuck in the same exact place, but I rotate it around to the max spot and see if it'll rotate or not. It's definitely hurting. Oh, now it's just loosening the bolt. Now I got it stuck. Damn it. Just said, don't ever try this. It actually moves some more. I wonder if I hold the crank down, hit the button at the same time. Again, don't ever do this at home. But it is moving. Can't ignore the fact that it's moving, so. Oh, look at that. Sometimes you just gotta force it. Look at that. See movement in almost all the pistons. There it goes. Hope my butt ain't showing. At least on camera. I know it's shown to the wild out here, but all right, I can't believe we actually got to spin all the way around. All the lifters are mostly moving up and down. Oh yeah. Oh man, sometimes you just gotta force it. Try not to yell, sorry. I forgot to get the microphone on. But she's spinning. We got her running. Oh, we got her spinning. That's crazy. All right, so we need to get the lifters back down. I need a break. It's been a long morning. Wow, that's good. Spin some more, make sure it's still good. Get this thing out of here. One stuck back here. Okay, so we got one stuck. Or maybe it's all the way up. Oh, it's just up. Cool. Let's get those lifters readjusted. We definitely need better battery terminals because these things are too small. So I'm pretty sure it was a stuck lifter. Okay, as I said, that's not a technique you want to do typically, but sometimes to get the power you need to get the thing to rotate, just kind of what you got to do. And the likelihood of if I do get this engine, I'm definitely going to be going through it anyways, probably camming it anyway, so everything will be replaced. As long as nothing's wrong with the pistons or crank, and I don't think there is because it was spinning pretty smooth. I'm going to go through and adjust all the rockers. I know there's a quick way, or I don't know, I don't think it's any quicker. I'm just going to go through individually just like I always have, and once we get those set again, we'll crank it over again to make sure it still works. But so yeah, I'm just going to do that. I'm not going to film that because if you want to see that, Vice Grip Garage has a real good tutorial on it. Somebody else did too recently, but I can't remember who it was. They did basically the same way Vice Grip Garage does it. Or you can do it just individually. When one exhaust valve is opening, you adjust your intake. When the intake closes and starts back up and is almost open or almost closed, you adjust your exhaust. So pretty simple, and I'm not going to waste you guys' time doing it when there's other places you can go look for it. All right, got them all adjusted. Now the real test. I'm still yelling, sorry. I got the microphone on. Do they still rotate? Oh, my gloves get sucked in. Oh yeah. Cool. They're all still moving and grooving. Did center number one just to see, make sure our distributor's in the right spot. All right, number one. Is there a mark anywhere on that damn pulley? Gotta be there somewhere. Oh, you have good compression on number one at least, or at least compression on number one. I got a, wire brush thingy. On the C30, they had the distributor 180 degrees out from where it's supposed to be, but I don't know on the C60 because I never got that far. It just fired right up. There's a zero mark. Can I find the mark on the pulley? Should be pretty close. There it is. All right. Cool. Now we're top distal number 1. Now we can pull the cap, see where we're at there. Put spark plugs and wires back in. Okay, just for kind of shits and giggles here. Let's see if it'll spark off or not without the carburetor on there. Spray some brake fluid down there, brake clean down there, and see what happens. There you go. Looks like we got spark. All right, let's get a carb on there. Let's see what happens. Smoky. Leaving the valve covers off because I want to see oil come up. I'm trying to be careful with this thing because it's got little spacer gasket things. I don't know how well this carb's going to work, but give me a little bit of throttle control. I have a feeling the bowl is probably full. It's not good stuff. All right, grab 9/16. I have a feeling this bowl's probably, like I said, full of a bunch of crap, but let's see if we can get something down in there. Maybe. Got a lot of vacuum leaks right now too. I gotta seal those off at some point too. It'd be funny if the accelerator pump actually worked. Nope, it's frozen. Oh. She ran. I didn't see any oil though. I see oil! Oh, we got a runner. And we got oil. Most places. Got a bunch over here, a couple on the other side. So far so good. Wind. She does on gas. Accelerator pump is definitely frozen. Oh, no way. Did it just start working? You got a lot of oil on this side, got some on that side, a couple that aren't quite working, but We're getting oil. Go ahead and put the valve covers back on. I'm sure these other ones will wake up eventually. Awesome. Yeah, buddy. Let's see if I can get these on here without the wires in the way. Ooh, that's sparking. Those have reusable gaskets, so that's kind of cool. There we go. Cool. What if I blocked all the vacuum leaks, if it would run better. I saw some more vacuum lines right there. 1, 2, 3. We got 3 vacuum lines that need, 3 vacuum ports that need plugged. I left one open on that side, very top one. That way, it's easy to replace. There we go, valve covers. Now some caps. All right, so we have 3/8 one under here. It's a smaller one right next to it, and then unported one up top. All right. Well, let's see what happens now. Using 2-stroke oil, or 2-stroke gas, just to help lubricate stuff. Definitely got a runner. That's awesome. I think I still have a muffler on it. Where's that EGR port? Is that a problem? Yeah, that is definitely a problem, but yeah, that stupid EGR tube's a big vacuum leak. But I think we're good on that. Carburetor needs rebuilt. I don't have a rebuild kit. We got another one running. It's pretty cool. Yep. Try it without my microphone so we can actually hear it. The microphone cuts everything off. The EGR tube's a pain in the butt, but she runs. See how that's... Good morning, everybody. We are back a couple days later to get back on the C65, and mainly I came here to get the carburetor off of it so I can take it home and get it rebuilt. And I also want to check to see if the fuel pump is working, if it's pumping or not. So that's what we're going to be doing today. So let's go ahead and get into it on this brisk 46-degree morning here in southwestern Oklahoma. But anyways, let's get into it. So one of the first things I want to do, if you remember, this dipstick tube, it was broken, so you want to put this back in and figure out which hole it's supposed to go through. It's bolted to somewhere. The only place I see is that place right there. Oh wait, no, right there. That can't be right. That was too easy. Gotta start it in the hole. I think I do. Check the oil or not. Yep, that's it. So there's the oil. Cool. Let's get that thing bolted in. The bolt's still right over here. Yep. All right, need a tool. All right, so that's a 9/16. Kind of worried because it rained yesterday, but I wasn't sure if it was getting oil or any water in the oil from that. But I think we're all right because that dipstick hole into the oil pan is way down in there. Got all the oils now. Let me get the battery out. Let's see if we can get. Let me see the oil pump first. Oh, it's completely disconnected. Which would probably explain why it didn't have any, I wasn't pumping any fuel yesterday. Not yesterday, it was a couple days ago. So I just noticed that the fuel line isn't even going to that pump. It's completely disconnected, so there must be an electric fuel pump somewhere in line. Good luck finding that, making that work. So, I'm gonna have to say it's not gonna pump, so I'm not gonna worry about it right now. So let's just get this carburetor off here so we can get it home and get it cleaned up and rebuilt. I made a block off plate to cover it up so it doesn't get water down in it. I don't know what the heck that thing's supposed to be. I did put a nut on here and tighten this down a little bit to keep stuff out of it. Where'd that tube go? Huh. Good. It was just a big heavy bolt, but where did it fall to? Secondary start to move at all? No, of course not. So it must have fallen out on its own. This is what they use to block the vent, which isn't a good thing, but it's better than nothing because it tries to keep water out. All right, so let's get that carburetor off of there. I'm not sure why I reconnected the throttle linkage, but I gotta be careful today because I slipped off this bumper the other day when I was out here, and luckily I missed my nuts. Get the air tube off. All right. Like I said, I brought a block off plate for this. Let's go grab that. All right, so we got a gasket and a homemade block off plate. Should keep this sealed up pretty nicely. I mean, basically, since this is a runner, you know, I want to keep it as nice as possible. I still want to, hoping to be able to buy this thing. So if that can happen, that'd be great. All right, so that should keep the majority of the water out of it. Throw this air cleaner back on top of it just so it's in position. A little extra protection that way. All right, so I think we're good to go in here for now. We'll have to come back after we rebuild the carburetor and see about getting the fuel system going on. If nothing else, I'll do a gravity fed fuel system. and see if we can get it running that way. So, I mean, she's already running. We already know she runs. But I was in here digging through all this grass. And realized there's no floor in here at all. But I also found a fuel pump. So we could try to get that pumping if we really wanted to, but the tank is completely empty. I don't really think it's going to do much because there's the wire to it. But, so yeah. Not worried too worried about that. Maybe this switch right here is control something. I'm sure PTO or, I don't know, 2-speed diff maybe. I don't know. Anyways, yeah, we're gonna take the carburetor home and get her cleaned up and see if we can get her back on here and working. I do want to check one last thing, but I had to get the water pump pulley off first. Whether or not the water pump was good, because if it was, then we could run a cooling system to this thing. But if you listen, there's something bad inside there. It was worse earlier. It was crunching something fierce, but I thought maybe it might be in the pulley, but it wasn't. So need a new water pump as well. I guess it's got electric fuel pump going to it. I'm sure the alternator's toast, power steering, all that good stuff. So, but yeah, I think I'm gonna call it today and head home and start working on that carburetor. All right, we're back home and started tearing this thing apart. And look at all that dirt in there, and that's just the front bowl. So that's pretty gnarly inside there. The other thing is this secondary is still stuck, so it was preventing the primaries from opening any further, but that opens fine now. So I get the secondaries unstuck. So I'll be taking everything apart. I'm gonna take the base plate off everything to work it a little bit easier. If I have to, I'll replace the base plate. I don't know yet. So I'm trying to keep this this revival at zero cost. So far, the only thing I've spent money on is gas, but it wasn't even really spent because I already had some here. I just took it with me. So I'm gonna do a rebuild kit on this. It shouldn't be, what, 20 bucks, 30 bucks at the most. I'm not even sure how much they are now. Haven't bought one for a while, but definitely a lot of cleaning I gotta do on this thing. So, yep, that's just gnarly. But I think something was just going down inside the vent tube and just caking everything up. But we saw it at the beginning there when we pulled it off. How full it was of garbage and junk. I'm surprised it was able to run at all with it like that. But we'll get it cleaned up and make it work. It's a Holly. They always work. So the other thing I did notice, if you look right down in here, the needle isn't moving. So, but like I said, we're gonna pull everything apart so we can get everything cleaned up and make it like a new. Well, the secondary bowl is even worse. Look at all that dirt in there. And one of the bolts broke. Hopefully I'll be able to get that off of there now that it's actually accessible. But yeah, that's pretty nasty. Yay. This thing's not getting much better as I tear it more and more apart. Look at all this crap. Like I said, one of the bolts broke right there, so I have to get that out still. Yeah. It's still savable, but it's going to take a little bit. I just don't understand why the secondaries aren't opening. Holy crap. Let's hope it ain't pitted or anything. We can actually get it apart. We'll see. This is actually moving on the shaft, which isn't really a good thing. I need the whole shaft to move. But anyways, let me get to cleaning. Trying to free up that secondary didn't go well. You ended up across the shot because it just wouldn't move. The thing is toast. So the base plate is no longer good. So it's just something to kick around the shop now. Stupid thing. All right, we're back for day 3. Not day 3 in a row, but day 3 of working on the C65 the C65 in the oil field out here. So first things first, because I want to be able to drive this thing if I can. Problem is, these stanchions are down. So kind of hard to move it when they're down like that. So all these levers for the PTO, or the hydraulics, they're all loose. So we can get these working, because this looks like it's the right one for bringing those up, then if we can get those working, then we can get moving. But I want to do this first. I want to get in here and make sure there's nothing in here right now. So I want to clean this out so I can get to the PTO lever over there and see what we got to do to make this thing work. All right, got this somewhat cleaned out. Wish I had my wish my leaf blower was working. It'd be a lot easier. But the PTO is definitely engaging, so, or it's moving at least. I'm not sure how exactly it engages, but we'll figure that all out. But this is what it runs, this hydraulic pump back here. So yeah, if we can get that working, we might be able to get these things raised up. So let's put the new carb on. Well, not new. Let's put my my extra carb on there and see if we can get this running a little bit longer than a few seconds. She's just as we left her. It looks like that carb should work pretty good. Hopefully that thing right there isn't going to be an issue on the front. I don't think it will be, but looks like enough clearance on both sides for the fuel lines and the throttle. I definitely want to do something different with that. I want to get the EGR tube off there again and close it up. I'll pinch it off and get rid of it so that way it's out of the way more. But I'll cut it off up here and just, well, maybe. I didn't bring anything to cut with. But anyways, yeah, let's get the carb on there. There's been some mice in here since I left. Let's hope that carb fits. Oh God, I'm just not as young as I used to be. Ah, stupid EGR tube. It will open as long as the EGR tube wasn't there. All right, so we gotta move that first. Keep that covered up for now. Good thing is I've already had the EGR tube off of there, so it should be pretty easy to get off. All right, so we got the EGR tube cut and bent over. I wish I would have brought some plugs. I just pulled this fitting out right here to do it. So now I can, if I need to, I can bend that out of the way. We'll see if the carb fits now. The gaskets. Damn it. Got everything I needed, but nope. It's still in the way. Turned the fitting, but again, I wish I had a plug. I just plugged that thing completely. That'll work too. And we got full throttle too. All right, now we're getting somewhere. I'll leave this here because it's going to go back on eventually because I'm not leaving this carburetor here. Fuel system. Got some vacuum ports I got to block off by the looks of it. All this plug in underneath there. There we go. Okay, that one's one. Okay, so I got one I gotta block off. Okay, so I need to get the spark plugs. So these ones, the ones that worked, didn't break. They're chewed up and they were arcing and sparking last time, so I brought enough to do all 8 of them, at least for now. So let's get that done, get the wires on there. Actually, let's put some water in it too, just to see whether or not it'll hold water. I brought plenty of water today, but just want to start by trying to put this jug in and see what happens. And lower hose is there, upper hose is there, so it should hold water. We'll see. Radiator's pretty empty. Let's see, it hasn't wet anywhere. There's only one jug, so we'll see. Hate wasting distilled water, but I don't feel like getting out the big jug yet. Yeah, so far it's holding water, which is cool. Is that water? No, that's definitely oil. All right, we got fuel hooked up. Got wiring going. Let's see what happens. if that fixes that. Well, that was weird. I guess it wasn't here. Well, we're getting somewhere. I tried to move. I don't know. It won't go into gear, but when I try to put the PTO, it starts to move. Who knows? So, PTO has to be engaged in order for it to move. Seems a little weird. I don't know. Oh shit, that's fucking reverse. Okay. It's not a 4-speed. At least not same pattern. You obviously need to tie the battery down somehow. Alright, I'm going to tie that down first. This thing starts bouncing and jumping, it's going to throw everything everywhere. It's going to be a rough ride. Wrapped around it. All right, so just like that, she's up out of her hole. Not too bad. Now I gotta figure out how this thing works, because the transmission doesn't work unless that PTO lever is all the way forward, or maybe in the middle. So I gotta figure out how the PTO is working, and then maybe we can figure out how that's working back here and get these stanchions up, because got out of the hole, but that one's still down all the way. That one over there popped out of its stand, but it's, I mean, it's off the ground technically, but yeah, it definitely needs some. Gotta figure out how to get those things up. Fire back up and see what different positions of PTO, if it makes this thing move or not. Okay, it's out of gear. I'm moving it. Clutch is out. If that did anything. right, so we figured that out. Problem is, I got spinning this wheel right here, but it's not engaging. None of the hydraulics are working, so I'm assuming all the hoses are probably trashed. But, I mean, this hose right here is not even connected to anything. And it goes into this rail right here that goes across to these. So, yeah. But hey, everything seems to be working, kinda. I'm sure just some hoses and the hydraulics work just fine. The biggest thing is it runs, and it's running really good. So the way the PTO works, it has to be in gear. So all the way forward, you can drive the truck. It puts in transmission into gear. Middle is like a neutral. All the way back engages the PTO and the transmission. So it has to be in gear in the transmission to be able to run. But it doesn't move the truck. So all the way forward moves the truck. All the way back moves the PTO using the transmission. Kind of neat. All right, that is going to do it for this revive and drive, because it did. We got it running again. I really liked the 750 double pumper, but yeah, it's a 1977 Chevy C65 with a big block. It's either a 366 or a 427. Doubt it's a 427, but most likely the 366. But yeah, big block power, and we got it running. Got it out of her hole. Not too shabby. So if you like this video, leave a like down there. Leave me a comment. Let me know what I can do better. And subscribe while you're at it. Why not? It's free. And for everybody who's been here till the very end, I really appreciate you watching it, because it really helps the channel out. So until next time, I will see y'all later.